What's up, my beautiful butterflies? It's the Awakened Butterfly, and I'm back with another video. If this is your first time viewing my channel, make sure you stay for the entire video. And if this is some content that you like to see on a consistent basis, make sure you subscribe and hit the like button. For all of my butterflies that are already here with me, welcome back. I love you guys so much. I couldn't wait to get back to the camera to do this video. It's very, very important. Excuse me, guys. I wrote some things down. I have a lot to talk about, so there may be two parts to this video. So make sure you guys have your snacks ready and go get something to eat, something to drink. Sit back. We have a lot to talk about. It's very, very, very important. Um, we're going to talk about mental illness, and sometimes, well, now often, more often, you have been hearing people talk about mental illness, but sometimes it is something that is not talked about as much, but it should be, because I feel that mental health is what makes up our overall. I feel like we can't be right in any other perspective if we're not right in our minds. And I feel that mental health is just as important as anything else. And with that being said, I have a story time that I'd like to tell you guys about something that I went through, where I met some people that um, I thought that I could trust, but at the same time, they were trying to make me feel that something was wrong with me. And by me trusting these people, I actually started to believe them. And I don't want anyone else to go through that. This is something that happened to me years ago, and I like to discuss it with you guys with many other important aspects. There's more to it, because sometimes there may not be a mental illness there, especially for targeted individuals. Sometimes these are things that are used against us to try and knock us off of our mission. And this video is mainly for targeted individuals, because I don't want anyone to get offended by any of the things that I'm going to say as in reference to mental illnesses and mental facilities. So with that being said, this is for targeted individuals, and this is something to help you overcome if you are going through this. If someone's trying to make you feel that something's wrong with you. Okay, guys, let me get into the story. Okay, so, um, years, I would say, oh man, it's been a while. It's been a while ago. But, I had moved in with my grandmother, and there was a shop that had opened up around the corner. It was like a poultry shop. Well, I mean, it was like a restaurant, but they had, on Thursday nights, it was more of they had poultry night. So I was like, well, that's something for me to do. That's something positive. I like poetry. I can go in there and listen to some poetry and, go back home. It's something positive to do. So I started to go there, and I would say about the first two times it was cool vibes. Everything was good. It was, doing what it said it would do. People coming in, showing their poetry talent, and it was good vibes. I would say about the third time I went, it seemed to be more of a party. I don't know, it seemed like the vibes kind of changed, and I kind of looked at things like, wow, this is different. But I was like, okay, it's cool. Nothing's negative going on. Everybody seems to be having a good time, so I'll just stick around. So a group of people walked in, and they seemed to be the life of the party. It seemed like they were already having fun before they got there. They seemed to be, pretty turned up or whatnot. So I was like, oh, okay, they seem to be like some fun people. Like they're having a good time. But I was quiet. I pretty much stayed to myself, so I didn't say anything. So I was approached by these people, and they were just like, well, We just came here to have a good time, and we like to rap. And they were just telling me about their different talents, and I was like, oh, that's cool. So they had went to the owner of the place, and they had requested a microphone, and they got up and started performing or whatnot. I was like, okay, that's cool. I stuck around, watched the performance or whatever. So they were like, hey, do you want to hang out? And I was like, not tonight. You know, it's a little late. I think I'll just go home. So I didn't hang out with them that time. But I would say maybe 2 weeks later, I went back up there. And this time I went to get food because the restaurant part was open. And they were there. And they were like, you should, well, the main person of the clique, I'll say that. They were like, you should start hanging out with us. We're really cool people. You know, my mom lives down the street. She has cookouts all the time. We're family oriented people. You know, you should get to know us and hang out with us. Because they were asking me, what do I do on a regular basis? I was like, well, I take care of my grandmother and, you know, I take care of my children, you know. I don't do anything extra. Because at that time, you know, my kids were really small, so I didn't have time to be just hanging out doing anything else. So, I noticed that every time these people were around me, they were um, on party mode. You know, they were drinking and things of that nature. So I didn't judge anybody. I mean, we were all young. I know they were, you know, they were just having fun or whatever, and I didn't judge them. You know, I was like, well, okay. So at this time, I was moving into a new apartment, and I needed help moving. So I'm just gonna say the main person of the group, they offered to help me move into my apartment. So I was like, okay, right on time. I needed the help. So I noticed that once they came, they brought people with them, which I didn't have a problem with it, but I noticed that after they got there, it's like they were kind of trying to turn it into a party. And a couple of the people were very flirtatious towards, you know, pretty much they liked flirting with women, a lot of women. They were young guys. I didn't judge them for it, but I told them, I said, look, don't try to go out and, you know, disrespect any guys and try to talk to any, you know, girls up here if you don't know, in fact, that they're with somebody. And they promised that they wouldn't do it, but that incident ended up happening. So I just noticed that a lot of things, you know, were starting to happen. I noticed that um, it was just, I just began to really, and I even started to, you know, drink and hang out and party with these people on the weekends or whatever. And it was, you know, we were hanging out at my house, or we would go to on poetry night. It seemed like that place turned into something else. It was just like partying all the time. And once I started to wake up to what was going on, because one night I had a dream, and guys, I do have dreams. Um, Sometimes, you know, if it's a message I feel that God wants me to know, I'll have a dream about it. And I started to have, you know, visions and dreams about the people that I was around and the energy. I started to pick up on the energy, but I think at that time I was too young to understand my gift and what it really meant. So I was amazed by it, but I didn't tell anybody because at that time, you know, guys, people was not really, a lot of people were, well, the people that I was around, they weren't into talking about things like that, and a lot of people wasn't aware, and that's probably why. And I didn't realize that I was becoming aware of some things. But um, I started to ask the leader of the group. I was like, because at this time, this person had stopped working, and they just showed up at my house one day. And they were like, "Well, I took a vacation from work. I'm not working. I quit my job. And I was like, really? It's like, oh, I do this all the time. I'll get another job in another few months. It's nothing. I have money saved up. And they bring out a bottle of liquor and was like, hey, you want to take a shot? And I'm like, it's a little early. I'll just, maybe later. And I was like, so what are you going to do all day? It was like, chill. I was like, well, okay. So me looking up, this person was actually a few years older than me. So I'm thinking that this is cool. I was very young. I'm like, well, okay. We're just chilling, having fun. Maybe I need to loosen up. And I found myself um, drinking way too much every day. And I was like, I mean, a lot of beer. It was a lot of beer, guys. Like every day, it just like it started to seem like a regular part of life being around these people. This is a habit I've never taken up. I'm like, I normally don't do this at all. And it got to a point where I started to not like how I was feeling. Sleeping late, head hurting, just throw it off on, I'm like, I usually don't spend my weekends like this, and I don't like how I'm feeling. So I'm just gonna um, talk to this person about it, because not to mention at this time, this person has now got a key made to my house, and now they're just walking in. And me being young and naive, I'm not saying anything about it. I'm thinking that they just, care about me, and they see that I'm young, and they're just taking over, trying to help. I think I was wrong about that. But anyway, so when I questioned the person, I was like, it started with me not wanting to drink one day. And I was smoking marijuana when I met these people. And the head person was like, you need to stop smoking um, marijuana as much and start drinking more. And I'm thinking by them at least telling me to stop one habit, that they're not going to tell me to pick up an even worse habit. But they were like, and I was like, wait a minute, I don't drink like that. And they looked at me with this look, and they were like, listen, less smoking, more drinking, okay? I was like, okay. And yes, guys, yes, yes, yes. I know it sounds bad. I did listen to this person. They were older than me. I looked up to them. I don't know. They just seemed like the leader of their group, like the leader of the pack. They had like leadership. I don't know. I don't know. But I realized it was not for right reasons. It was for trying to control and manipulate people. So I later found that out. But so I was like, I don't think I want to drink as much like that anymore. Like as time went on, I told them that, and I started to want less company around, as much, and stop the partying and all that stuff. So now, guys, once I started doing this, I started hearing something that I've never heard before. And to be honest with you, I had never even heard of this until um, I started to change my behavior with these people. They started to call me bipolar. Now, keep in mind, I had never heard of the word bipolar, honestly. I didn't know what it was. I didn't even, nothing about it, okay? They started calling me that, and I was like, what is bipolar? And they were like, you're crazy, you're crazy. And I was like, so bipolar means crazy. So now in my mind, there's two things going. Well, at first there's one thing going on. There's me being naive and gullible, believing everything these people say to me, because now it's me realizing, picking up on certain behaviors. Like, okay, now these people are fighting. They're trashing my apartment. They're partying every day in my apartment. All these things are going on. And now that I'm speaking out about it, they're telling me that I'm crazy, and they're saying that I'm bipolar. So now, guys, I'm on the computer. I'm looking up the definition of bipolar. It doesn't quite seem to fit with my actions. So Now there's two things going on here. I'm like, okay, I'm trusting these people because they're telling me we're family, they love me, they call me their sister, all this. I have now begun to develop a strong relationship with them. So now their opinion is starting to count with me. I'm already young at that time and very gullible. So I'm believing everything that they say. But at the same time, my true self is starting to kick in. And I'm starting to stand up for what's right and realize that there's something wrong with what was going on around me every day. So I'm stuck between the two. Still trusting myself, but still questioning what they're saying at the same time. So the leader of the group was very strong on convincing me that something was wrong with me. Okay, you need to chill. You need to chill. Trying to get me to drink more, trying to get me to, just, as they say, I need to chill out. But at the same time, the more I'm listening to these people and sitting down and drinking and listening to music and just partying, there's crazy things going on around me. Crazy, things going on in my home that shouldn't be going on. And I'm like, wait a minute. This is not right. I started to realize that that person wanted me to stay sedated and thrown off so I could allow all these things to go on in my home. So, once I just started to convince myself that, hey, something's going on, these people are trying to convince me that I'm wrong about me not wanting everyone running in and out of my home, drinking, partying, fighting, whatever, turning my home into a nightclub. And, this bipolar thing is just not sitting right with me. So it just kept on happening. And then now it's more like it's with the other people of the group saying it. Like, it's like now they're side-eyeing me like, ooh, like, hey guys, don't say too much or do too much around. Like, she's a short fuse. Like trying to make me seem to be a short fuse, but I just want my home in order. I want it to be a safe, comfortable place for my children. I want it to be, I don't want my home on the weekends to be a nightclub. So, um, they were like, one day I just went completely off. I did because there were some things going on in my home that I just couldn't take it anymore, and I really I put everybody out. I told them that they had to leave, and that's something that they didn't never expect from me because they're so used to me letting everything go on. So the leader of the group was like, you really should look into going to get evaluated. And I was like, what do you mean? They were like, I think you need to go and get evaluated so you can get on some type of medication to calm you down. And I was like, what do you mean medication to calm down? And they was like, Xanax or something like that. You need something to calm you down because you're too, and I was like, what do you mean? They were like, you're too young to be acting like this. Like, you should take a chill pill. Like, you need to really calm down. And I started to question, I was like, wow. And to be honest, it kind of was the first time I had a lot of people around, like young people my age around me at one time. It kind of made me feel like I was cool at that time. So I was like, wow, am I really pushing, cool people away from me? Like, am I really, being a party poop? Or, like, am I that lame? Like, maybe I need to just chill out and just enjoy my young life. So I was like, maybe I do need to take something to calm me down a little bit. So now, guys, here I am from listening to this person. I'm now at Joe Johnson Mental Health Institution. And to be honest, guys, I don't even know what I was doing there. Like, I didn't feel like I needed to be there. I felt like I'm young, but I'm old enough to know. I mean, guys, I was 26 years old. 25 or 26 years old. Yeah, one of the two. Maybe, I think I was 25. But I'm like, guys, I'm young, but I'm still old enough to know that, you know, I don't need to be here. And I'm very honest with myself about how I feel. And if I felt like I needed to be in a mental hospital being evaluated, I would have been there way before now. I feel like someone in my family would have said something. No one in my family has ever came to me at that time. Guys, I have other things to talk about, but no one in my family has ever came to me and said I had a mental illness. And it seems like the more I began to wake up to what was going on around me, the more people were calling me crazy because I was saying that I wasn't agreeing to what was going on around me. So, here I am in this place, and um, guys, the person pushed me to go to this place, wouldn't even come inside with me, would rather stay in the car. So that was one thing. That was another red flag. I'm like, okay, so you convinced me that there's something wrong with me, and now you don't even, you tell me about this place, and this is where I should go, and now you don't even want to go in with me for support. So I'm like, okay, so I'm in this place, guys. I'm sitting in the waiting area. I'm looking around at, people that I guess some maybe needed to be there, but I'm one of those people that some people may think I'm weird, but I don't think anyone's crazy. Um, I think some people have a spiritual battle that makes their body react in a certain way, but I don't think anyone's crazy. So I know a lot of those people in there were battling with something, and I too was battling with something, but I just had more control over it. That's how I look at it. So I just felt like I didn't need any more assistance. I didn't need to be there. The only thing I was battling was being gang stalked, and at that time I didn't even know what gang stalking was. So, um, when I was called back, the lady was just looking at me. She was like, I had like a bang with my hairstyle. She was like, I need you to pull your hair out of your face because I need to look at your eyes. And I was like, okay. And she was like, why do you feel that you're here? And I was like, well, you know, honestly, me personally, I don't know. But a lot of my close friends say that I've been having mood swings lately. And so she was talking to me a little more, and after a while, she came to the conclusion that I was bipolar, and a lot of other questions she asked me. She said, "Do you get upset easily?" And I told her I didn't, you know. And she said, "Do you do you get good sleep, and um are you on drugs or anything like that?" And I was like, "No, I mean, well, I smoke marijuana sometimes, and I drink alcohol, at that time." And she was like, she was asking me how much, and she was asking me, do I feel sad sometimes? And if I do, what do I feel sad about? Do I feel angry? If I do, what do I feel angry about? Questions like that. And to be honest, guys, I was sad about a few things, in my life. It wasn't anything major, but it was nothing that I would take out on anyone else or anything like that. It was just my own personal stuff. And it was just me really wanting to accomplish my goals in life and, get right or whatever. And I was just a little anxious about that, which sometimes made me sad, that I hadn't reached the point that I wanted to be. But that was pretty much at that time, that was it. But it's like she was trying to dig something else out of me. I don't know, but she was like, well, do you feel like you need to be evaluated for 72 hours so you can get some rest and take your meds? And I was like, meds? I was like, no, I don't need to be evaluated and I don't need any meds. She's like, well, I'm going to give you something today. And she prescribed me Zoloft, Ambien, and I don't know I don't know, guys, but I will tell you this. I only took 2 of those pills, and that was it. I didn't need them. It made me stare at the wall and chew my nails all the way down, stare at the television, just sitting there like no life in me, just nothing. And um, when the head of the group came around me, they were like, "I like you like this. Like you're so calm and chill." And at the at the same time, I'm just sitting there like stuck, like no emotion, no feeling, nothing, just sitting there, just staring at the television or the ceiling fan stuck. And I did that for 2 days, trusting, listening to someone else. But they made me the medication made me feel so weird that I just completely stopped taking it. And it even got to the point to where I felt like I was going to make everyone else mad if I didn't take that medication. And there's one thing that the doctor said to me before I walked out. She said, "Ma'am, you're bipolar. You've been bipolar for years. And if you don't take that medication, it's only going to get worse." Guys, that's been a long time ago, okay? And I only took 2 of those pills in my life and never again. I'm not a short-tempered person. I'm a calm person. You can ask anybody around me that knows me. I'm probably too chill about some things. So I really knew in my heart that somebody was trying to make me out to be something that I was not, only because I was trying to speak up for, what was right. And I didn't realize that at first. So guys, it seems like in my mind, I started to get afraid for the person to know I didn't take the pills, but I didn't care. I just left them out. And they were like, "Are you taking your medication?" Like, I guess on the days that they realized I wasn't just sitting there, gone, sedated or whatever, just sitting there. Or if I spoke up about something, they were like, "Are you taking your pills? Are you still taking your medication?" I was like, "Why are you asking me that?" So I started to see that this person was using the medication and the whole mental thing as as something against me, like I'm like, what? It was like a weapon against me that they were using to keep me under some type of control. So, I had moved from the apartment that I was in to another location, and this person had invited, the head of the group invited someone that I completely did not want in my home. This person was not of good energy at all, and I didn't want them in my home, and they invited them there. So when I said something about it and I made the person leave, this person was so upset that they pushed me out of my own home, out the door, and threw the bottle of medication at me and was like, "You need to go and take your pills." And they were like, "You haven't been taking them." And guys, the bottle was full. I wasn't taking those pills because I knew I didn't need them. The person that they invited in my home, they liked to fight a lot. They drunk a lot. They were very violent. I was starting to get afraid of the people that they were bringing around me in my home. I wasn't used to that. And it was getting scary that they were trying to make me feel like something was wrong with me because I didn't want to be around it. So, they were like, "You know what? I'm calling the mental hospital and I'm letting them know that something's wrong with you and you're not taking your pills." And guys, it really scared me because I'm like, what is going on here? Like, this is, very weird that they're trying to make me feel like something is wrong with me. So they called the hospital, and the lady was like, "Well, ask her, does she want someone to come and pick her up and she can be evaluated for 72 hours. And I'm like, this is weird. No, I'm not taking any medication. I'm not being evaluated for 72 hours. I'm not going anywhere. This is my home. This person is trying to invite people in my home that I don't want to be around. Everyone's drinking, smoking, doing all this crazy stuff. In my home, they're trying to make it out to be a party house every day. I don't have any more privacy. It's like an invasion, And the energy was very negative. You know, I didn't want that around me or my children. So he got off the phone with um, the people, and they were like, well, they asked me if I was triggering you. And I said, triggering? They was like, yeah, with bipolar, there's a trigger. Things can trigger. I was like, what? I said, but trigger what? Because, guys, I was not being violent with this person. I was just speaking up for my home. Like, I wanted to stop the loud music, stop the drinking, stop the smoking, stop the party, just stop all of it and get my peaceful home back. And by me not wanting to do this stuff with these people every day, they were really trying to make me out to be a mean person. That within itself was crazy to me. So once I realized what was really going on, guys, I stopped it immediately. I cut everything off. I realized that these people were trying to make me feel like something was wrong with me. And guys, if you're not careful, you will really believe what people are saying, depending on, their status in your life, what they mean to you, who they are, what role they play in your life. But I'm here to let you know that as targeted individuals, it doesn't matter who it is. You know yourself, and don't let anyone make you feel like something is wrong with you, especially when you know deep down in your heart who you are, your relationship with God. You know that you're a good person. You know that you pray every day. You know that you're in your right mind. Don't ever, excuse me, especially when you're speaking up for something that's right, when you see something negative going on, when you can even, like me, I have dreams and visions. I can see stuff. Sometimes, God will put things on my mind in a vision, in a dream. And sometimes I can see some things coming that's not right. And I will try to, avoid those things and stop those things from happening. And sometimes you have to get away from people and get them out of your life. Don't be afraid to stand up and say, hey, I don't like what's going on here. This is not bringing, positive vibes. And I need this to stop. I don't want this going on in my life. And at that time, I was too young to do that. But I realized that, you know, this person was going around telling everybody that I was bipolar and I needed medication and things like that. And it was not true. And none of these things had ever occurred until I met these people. I didn't even think about mental health at all. As far as I thought about mental health because I've always been interested in it. And but I never thought it to, something's wrong with me. I need to go get medication. Something's wrong. It's never been that. Because if it was, I would have checked into it a long time ago. And I realized that this person was only saying that when, I didn't think it was safe to ride around, you know, with them and they have a gun in the car. Or I didn't think it was safe to drink and drive. Or